It's Saturday the 21st of July. You must forgive my strange attire. I look like I'm dressed in men's clothes, and I am. I had some sugar syrup completely soak my trousers and my shirt on the way over to Dad's house. So I'm having to wear one of his old shirts and a pair of his old golfing trousers, so I do apologise. 6 days ago I had my pet cat die in my arms, and I've told the bees about it. And put little black ribbons on each brood box for each hive. I've told each of them separately. It's an old tradition whereby if a beekeeper of the family dies, or if there's something significant in the family of a beekeeper, a marriage, a death, a birth, somebody departs from the family, it's somebody's job, usually the beekeeper, to let the bees know what's going on. It's a really, really old, I think it's an old Celtic tradition. And you knock on, the hive 3 times, and you tell them the news, and you ask them not to leave you. So I've done that. But I thought you might like to see what's occurring at the front of hive number 2. When I approached the hive, there was this really beautiful, strong smell of bee bread, and occasionally you'll smell that. So there's a lot of activity, lots of bees flying around. So there could be a bit of a some young bees might have be coming out for their first orientation flights. So I thought I'd show you that now if I can. Last week when I looked at this hive, I cut out a couple of queen cells. One was capped, one wasn't capped, and there was a play cup I picked out. The queen was still in residence, so she's still in there, and there was eggs and brood, and I fed the bees, and they were very quiet compared to today. If I see lots of bees flying around here. There's quite a lot of activity going on. Perhaps we'll have a look at this hive a little bit later. Let's go and have a look at the rest of the hives. Okay, here's the brood box that we filled with the nuke that had the surprise queen in. So we need to mark the queen in this hive, so that's one of the jobs. They're still positioned in exactly the same place on the same stand. It's just that they were doing well, and I want them to try to get into a brood box by the, by winter, and overwinter them. If I can do that, that would be great. Look how much they've expanded on the top of this board here. There's no queen on here. Just going to leave that there for now. Yes, it does! Hurrah! You have some stores! An extra bit of honey, I think. Sorry, you didn't see any of that. Right, so what do we got? We have... You saw the queen. I didn't mark her. I just want them to expand a little bit, so I've put them in here, and there's on this frame here we have brood. So what they should do is, hopefully the queen was on this frame, and hopefully she seems to favour that frame. So it's right in the centre, and I've got a frame of bit of honey, cat's honey here for them. So yeah. So see what's next. This is hive number 1, the entrance to hive number 1. Last week we marked the queen in there. who was the daughter of the previous queen, so I lost a swarm from this hive. We do have a queen. She's quite golden coloured. There she is. Where's she gone now? There she is. So that's that's the daughter. Got her. There we are. I think that'll do. Rest her here and put the frame back in. And just leave it a few minutes before I pop her back in. I think I also fed this hive as well, because they've still got quite a lot of comb to make upstairs. Let's go and have a look at some other hives. Right, this is the last and only nuke box we have at the moment. We haven't looked inside this nuke box for about 10 to 15 days. Bees in this nuke box were the bees that were the inconvenient swarm, and for some reason they just didn't expand properly, so this is why they're in a nuke box. Originally they were in a brood box. They swarmed into a brood box as a bait trap we had lying out. So the queen disappeared. They didn't have any eggs, so I gave them a queen cell. So let's hope that queen cell was good. Otherwise we're going to have to give them a frame of eggs from somewhere. And next to them we have the Father's Day swarm. This is the colony of bees that swarmed into another bait trap that we had around during Father's Day. They also received, I do believe, a queen cell, so it would be interesting to see how that is, if it's there, if they have a queen. There was a lot of activity at the front of this hive. I came during the week and noticed that one minute they were all nice and quiet like this, and then there was a whole massive flurry of activity. So I'm expecting to see a queen in this one. Okay, we're at the little nuke box. I can sort of smell bee bread. Wow. Right, they need feeding. If I just take this top lid off, hopefully you'll be able to see what I can see on the camera. So they might need to have there's a couple of wax moth, dead wax moth here on the top of. Let's get rid of those. I thought I could smell bee bread in here, so that would be great if we do have a queen that's laying brood. Open them up a little bit. Oh yeah, I think we've got a queen in here. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So these bees need to be fed. They've done really well. They've got a queen, because the amount of bees we had in here about 10 days ago when we first put them in this nuke box, after losing their queen, there's a drawing pin on the second frame in, so they've obviously requeened themselves, so that's brilliant. I haven't got a spare brood box. There's the bait trap brood box, but it's a little old and threadbare really, so I'd rather give them a brand new one, to be honest. and keep that box for bait traps only, really. I think they'll be alright for another week. It might be a good idea just to check for queen cells. And I'm just going to have a look at the top of this for any queen milling around, but she's unlikely to be on here, but you never know. It's such a small box, but it doesn't look as if she's on here. I won't shake them off because that will disturb them a little bit too much. Fantastic. So they've built some brace combs, so they obviously want to build up and they're being prevented. So when the bees feel that they're running out of space, they then start to decide to want to swarm or move on to decongest the box. I'm just going to put them there like that. Unless I manage to just rest them here. I can rest there like that. I've got another nuke box. I haven't just let me smoke them down a little bit here. Let me just double check to see what you can see, because last week's video was just terrible. You couldn't see anything. That's a little bit better. You can see what I'm doing a little bit better now. Again, I'm working from the side of the hive, which is never ideal. And they've properlised a little bit where they can. Want to be gentle. I mean, the first frame I pull out isn't going to be, there's usually stores of some sort. I've got some honey here. They haven't built it up completely, so go back in there. That's no queen on there, so what we're looking for is the queen. If we can mark her, we will do, but I just want to make sure we don't have any queen cells, because it would be such a shame. Alternatively, what I could do is bring these bees home with me in the evening tonight, put them in my garden. This is quite a heavy frame. I've got a little bit of nectar in stores. It's not a fantastic frame. It's been recycled. There isn't any eggs on this side. What about this side? Got some pollen in stores and some honey, and we've got a queen cell here. Here. Interesting. So that's the second frame in. I'm just having a quick look first, just to, this is a bit wobbly, this nuke box, it's annoying. I don't really want to roll the bees if I can help it. Yep, so we've got a queen because we can see some brood, capped brood here. Now there's always a worry that if you've got a capped queen cell, the queen has already departed. So I'm looking for eggs. I've got capped brood on this side. We do have eggs. I can see some eggs. Yeah. Once the beekeeper can see eggs and also knows that they've got a queen cell that's capped, he needs to find the queen. She's not on that side. Let's have another look on this side. check the next frame. Don't want to rock them too much. They're all going in. Oh wow, you have to see this. Look. Wow. So by me doing that, they'll all go back into the box. Look at that, isn't it wonderful? And they're sticking their little bums in the air and wafting around this is the way home, Naznov scent gland, which actually smells of lemongrass. Wow, that's so cool. Isn't that lovely? So let's get back to the job. And I'm looking at this frame here that had the drawing pin in. If I just lift it up. Whoa, this is heavy. What have we got? Got a little bit of brood. We've got some young brood, some capped brood. We have eggs. That's the queen. Here's the queen. I don't know if you can see. She's right there. And I apologise in advance if you can't see her. We're going to have to mark her, of course. And then we can get rid of that. And we can get rid of that. I can get rid of that other queen cell. If you just like to walk away from me briefly without bees crawling underneath bees, I can grab hold of her wings. There's one bee that's on her all the time. Let's close to her wings now, unless she's coming towards me, which is always trickier. Got her? Sorry lady, I didn't mean to startle you. Right, I have you. I have you. It's alright. I've got you, my dear. Okie dokie. Right, it's always tricky with one-handed trying to undo these things. Right, let me just twist you round so you can see her. And I can see you, what you can see. So here is the queen. She's just there. If I just move her up on the cushion, the royal throne, like that, you'll be able to see her. She's not as golden as the queen in Hive 1, or as fat as the queen in Hive 1, but she's all right. Let's mark her. Sorry, I'll let you see. Okay, so I've marked her. I'm going to let her rest there and dry off after her manicure. I'll just double check to see what you can see. I just want to make sure that these combs don't have any other queen cells on or play cups. It looks to me as if they're going to need a brood box. I can see a play cup here. There was an egg in it. There's no egg in it now. So that's been broken down. Let's have another look for anything else that's maybe a bit shifty. The bees don't like it if you blow on them or breathe on them. Right, some of these cells I've noticed have got double eggs in, but that could be because she might be a fairly new queen, well obviously, and like the queen in the other nuke box, has taken some time to sort of get to lay properly. But we do have a solid chunk of brood, and where she has laid multiple eggs, the bees will probably eat them or clean them out once they're not viable. So I'm not too concerned, because on the whole most queens take a while to sort of sort their laying pattern out, and we have a few bees trying to attend to the queen. I'm just going to put them there for now, and have a look at that last frame. Slowly, well, it's got some honey on it. They are going to need a brood box fairly soon. So it was the second frame along that had the queen cell, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And it was right sort of centre, sort of right. It's here. Right, so it's good that their queen is still with them. And I'll just shifty that along a little bit. But the smell of bee bread, the yeasty sort of pollen-y, sort of pheromone-y smell. And shall we give them back their queen? Look at that. Hopefully you can see what's going on. She is quite orange actually, looking at her again. They're in there with her, looking after her. Let's see what you can see on this side. Yeah, so she's in there. Why don't I assist her out? Your Majesty, would you like to come out? Your Majesty. Queens are a little bit silly sometimes. They don't always they don't always know which way is it. Come on lady, you know the way. I might have to give her a little tap on the high tool. She's in. Know that she's safe in there. And these ladies will need to have some more food, so I'm going to leave this feeder out and feed them before I leave. Job done. Originally they were quite a strong colony, but whatever happened to the queen, they superseded her, or let's see if there's anything going on. queenless. No queen on there. Frame here because I haven't done anything to it. There's hardly any bees on it and it's safe to take out, so this is a little worrying. This frame along next has a drawing pin in, so this is likely to be the frame that had the queen cell on it. I've got some stores, some pollen and some let's see what we've got going on right in the middle. Lots of bees milling around, but do we have any eggs? That's where they should be. We do have eggs. We do actually have eggs. I wish the sun was shining a bit. At least I think I can see eggs. Yes, I can see eggs. So we do have a queen in here. So that is good news. Let's move this one along then. So she's likely to be maybe on this frame or this frame. Wherever the queen is, she's not marked, so oh yes, I see. Yes, this was the super that we had when they first swarmed in here, and they've made a queen cell and it's got something in it, but it's not capped, so we'll knock that down. We just need to find the queen, and they made another bit of comb there as well. Can we find the queen? We've got brood, capped brood. See, the only problem when they make brace comb like this, makes it very difficult to see down the middle. And then if there's a queen cell down there, you're not going to notice it, or the queen can be hiding right behind and you'll never see her. Just have a little look. And of course it's incredibly delicate. She's pretty much been laying in every single cell that's big enough, so they're very calm on this frame. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't like the look of that. Oh, there's the queen, I see her. She's scuttling around. Of course she's on the brace comb and could move at any minute. There she is. She's quite a dark girl. So I'm gonna nail it down. See if I can pick her up without damaging her wings, because it's properly finger city here today. The only way I'm going to do it is to get this side. She's completely still. Got up. She's slender, she's dark. Okay, she's a small queen. She's not great, but I'd like to mark her just so that I can see her next time I look in the hive, or if it might be a good idea just to let them requeen themselves. so you won't be able to see anything. I'll show you as before. This lady's quite dark, the Father's Day swarm hive, and she's quite a small little queen. But if I can mark her anyway, just so I know where she is, and then you can see whether she's left or not. So there she is. Let's put them down again. Right. So so we know this has a queen cell on and it's not capped. So it's probably worth me and there's a play cup here with an egg in it, so they are looking to swarm, and it's, you know, it's nearly the end of July and I really don't want any more swarms. They should be sort of settling down now, because before you know it, it will be winter. So every single week there's been a queen cell to cut out or remove or do something with. Let's get my smoker. Smoke that bee down. She's cleaning the side of the... I mean, about a week and a half ago, these bees weren't as, there just weren't as many bees as I seem to remember in here before. I'll popularise this up. What have we got on this one? Yeah, that's not a great frame, is it? Got some nice pollen on the other side, but I'm going to twist those round. Actual fact, what have we got on this side? Get that out of the way. Have we got stores on here? Is it just stores, or is it? Oh yeah, this is heavy with honey. Lots of honey. Look at that. I think what these bees need is to build some wax up for the queens to lay in. Ow! Thank you, lady. You just stung me. Ouch. Ouch. That wasn't very nice. Might be going to be like that. I think they need another frame. To start drawing on. So we put that there. Why isn't that fitting in? Well, I'm right in front of the hive now, which is never good. probably get a little bit more room for this frame to go in. There we are. And on this side as well. Oh. There we are. Now if we just move these along a bit. We could do with another frame in here. I might have one indoors. So I'm going to release this queen. And she's in. She walked straight in. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to close these ladies up.